Yo, Bangladesh, what's good? Remember 2024? Wild times, right? Sheikh Hasina, gone. The Awami League, out of power after decades. Students, man, they were fired up. Protests in the streets demanding change. They wanted jobs, less corruption, a future that wasn't, stuck in the past. And it worked. Hasina's government, they couldn't ignore the people anymore. They were forced out. So, who are you gonna call when you need a leader? Someone respected worldwide. Enter Muhammad Yunus, Nobel Peace Prize winner, microfinance guru. The guy's a legend. India, though, they were watching this whole thing like, hold up, what's happening to our neighbor? Remember, Bangladesh and India, they go way back. But with Hasina out and Yunus in, things were definitely different. This wasn't just some political shakeup, this was a seismic shift. Bangladesh was entering uncharted territory, and the whole world was watching. So, you got Yunus, this economics genius, suddenly running a country. Not exactly a walk in the park, right? Dude's used to dealing with poverty, not politics. First few months it was chaos. Government ministries were a mess. Corruption was like a stubborn stain, wouldn't go away that easily. Yunus, he knew his stuff when it came to economics. He brought in a team of experts, started making moves. And slowly, things started to change. Inflation? Got that under control. Exports? Back on the rise. Remittances from Bangladesh's working abroad, those started flowing in again. Yunus knew how important the diaspora was. He made it easier for them to send money back home, and the economy felt the boost. Okay, so Yunus, he was acing the economics exam, but governing, that's a whole different ballgame. Corruption, that deep-rooted systemic problem, yeah, that wasn't going away overnight. He tried though, brought in some reforms, tried to clean up the police and the bureaucracy, but let's be real, changing a system that's been broken for decades? That's like trying to teach your grandma how to use TikTok. It's gonna take time, patience, and a whole lot of effort. And then there was the whole law and order situation. Not great, not terrible. The streets weren't exactly a war zone, but there was still a lot of crime, a lot of people who felt like the system wasn't working for them. Yunus, he was trying, but it was clear being a brilliant economist didn't automatically make you a great leader. While Yunus was busy trying to run the country, something interesting was happening on the streets. Remember those students who protested against Hasina? They weren't done yet. They were like, we got rid of the old guard, now it's time to build something new. That's how the National Citizens Party, the NCP, was born. Their leader, Nahid Islam, this charismatic young dude, only 26 years old. He was like the voice of a generation, talking about a Bangladesh that was modern, democratic, and free from the baggage of the past. No more Awami League, no more BNP, the two parties that had been playing musical chairs with power for decades. The NCP, they were different. They were the future, at least that's what their supporters believed. But turning that belief into actual political power, that was going to be the real challenge. Section 5, the stakes are high, approaching the 2025 elections. Fast forward to 2025, and Bangladesh is buzzing with anticipation. Elections are right around the corner, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The NCP, they're riding a wave of popularity, especially among young people, but they're also new to the game, still figuring things out. Then you've got the old guard, the Awami League and the BNP, licking their wounds, plotting their comebacks. And don't forget Jamaat-e-Islami, the Islamist party, always lurking in the background, trying to capitalize on any instability. The whole country is holding its breath. Will the NCP be able to translate their grassroots support into actual seats in parliament? Will Bangladesh continue down this path of change, or will it revert back to the old ways? The future of the nation hangs in the balance. Section 6, a shift in identity, the rise of political Islam. One of the most significant developments during Yunus's time in charge was the whole Islam thing. See, Bangladesh was founded on secular principles, a clear break from Pakistan's Islamism. But under Yunus, things started to shift. He pushed through some constitutional changes, removing secularism, nationalism, even socialism from the country's guiding principles. Now Yunus, he's not some radical Islamist, but his moves gave more space for religious groups to flex their muscles. And let me tell you, they flexed hard. Suddenly you had Islamist hardliners popping up everywhere, demanding stricter Islamic laws, talking about a caliphate. It's like Bangladesh was looking at Pakistan's path and thinking, maybe we should try that. But here's the thing, Bangladesh isn't Pakistan. It has its own unique history, its own culture. Forcing it into someone else's mold, that's a recipe for disaster. Section 7, Troubled Waters, Bangladesh and India navigate a new reality. Remember how India was a little uneasy about the whole Yunus situation? Well, things just got more complicated. With the rise of political Islam in Bangladesh, India's like, hold up, we don't want another Pakistan next door. Then you got communal tensions flaring up. Reports of attacks on Hindu temples and businesses in Bangladesh started making headlines. The RSS, India's right-wing Hindu nationalist group, they were screaming about persecution of Hindus, even suggesting Pakistan was meddling in Bangladesh to stir up trouble. Now Bangladesh wasn't about to become a Hindu-hating state overnight, but the situation was definitely tense. India and Bangladesh, they needed to have a serious conversation about the future of their relationship, because ignoring the problem, that wasn't going to help anyone. Section 8. The international community watches closely. It wasn't just India that was paying attention to what was going down in Bangladesh. The whole world was watching. The UN Secretary-General himself, Antonio Guterres, even flew down to Dhaka to see things firsthand. He met with Yunus, talked about the reforms, the challenges, the whole shebang. Guterres, he was all about supporting democracy and human rights. But he also knew Bangladesh had a lot on its plate, especially with the whole Rohingya refugee crisis. Remember, Bangladesh was hosting over 1 million Rohingya refugees who had fled violence in Myanmar. The international community, they were looking to Bangladesh to see how it handled all of this. Would it become a beacon of hope, a model for other developing nations, or would it crumble under the weight of its problems? Section 9, Bangladesh at a crossroads. A future uncertain. So here we are, Bangladesh in 2025. The country's standing at a crossroads, staring down a future that's as uncertain as ever. Will the NCP, the Young Guns, be able to pull off a victory in the elections and steer Bangladesh in a new direction? Will Yunus be able to get a handle on the rising tide of political Islam and prevent the country from sliding down a slippery slope? Will Bangladesh and India be able to patch things up and maintain their historically close ties? These are the million-dollar questions, and right now, nobody has the answers. One thing's for sure though, the world is watching. The decisions Bangladesh makes in the coming months and years will have ripple effects far beyond its borders. No pressure, Bangladesh, no pressure at all.